Hello everybody and welcome to the Big Daddy Biggs blog. This is the place where I give my opinion on books, financial and investment strategies, and occasionally a work from home idea. Today's reading from the blog is an overview of the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now before we go any further, I just kind of want to explain what's going on here. I have a blog that I have written all of these blog posts myself, and what I'm doing now is I'm going back and I'm kind of starting from the beginning of this idea that I've had of sharing some knowledge that I have of different things. Whether it's right or wrong or indifferent, I'm just going to share it anyway. And I'm making audios on YouTube, and I'm posting them on other places as well. So I just wanted to kind of let you know what's happening here in case you're wondering. And that's it. I've printed out the blog post, and I'm reading it to you so that you can listen to it while you go down the road, while you go about your day and do whatever. These are short, 15, 20, maybe occasionally a 30-minute blog post. But anyway, that's what's going on. And without any further ado, let's go on with the insights from How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you want to improve your social IQ, become a more effective leader, and increase your influence, one book stands out as an essential guide. Even though Dale Carnegie published How to Win Friends and Influence People decades ago, its core lessons remain entirely applicable to today because human nature does not change. The book is built on simple, practical strategies from handling human relations, building deep connections, and leading others without causing resentment. Here is a breakdown of the most valuable principles from the book that you can start using today. Fundamental techniques in handling people. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. People rarely criticize themselves for anything, no matter how wrong they might be. Humans are creatures of emotion, driven by pride and ego. When you criticize someone, they immediately become defensive and scramble to rationalize their behavior. Criticism wounds a person's pride and hurts their sense of importance. Any weak person can complain, but it takes a true character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving. Before reacting to someone's mistake, pause and try to understand why they did what they did. Give honest and sincere appreciation. One of the deepest cravings in human nature is the desire to be appreciated and to feel important. This need for approval drives people to accomplish great things. There is a massive difference between appreciation and flattery. Flattery is shallow, selfish, and insincere, and people usually see right through it. Sincere appreciation comes from the heart and focuses on the genuinely good points of the person in front of you. Simple phrases like "thank you" or "I am sorry" can completely transform your daily interactions. Appeal to the other person's interest. When you go fishing, you don't bait the hook with cheesecake just because you like cheesecake. You use what the fish wants, which is more than likely a worm. The same logic applies to people. Everyone cares about what they want. Therefore, the only way to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. Before you propose an idea or make a request, stop and ask yourself how the other person benefits from this. 6 ways to make people like you. Become genuinely interested in other people. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming genuinely interested in other people than you can in 2 years trying to get people interested in you. People are primarily focused on themselves. To build a real connection, ask people about their backgrounds, their goals, and their interest. Go out of your way to show kindness to those around you, whether they are your colleagues or service workers you meet throughout the day. Smile. A smile carries a powerful message of goodwill. It says, I like you. You make me happy. And I am glad to see you. When you share an authentic smile with the people you meet, from cashiers to coworkers, the effect is contagious. People will naturally begin smiling back, making difficult situations easier to manage and creating a much happier environment for everyone involved. Remember names. A person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Forgetting or misspelling a person's name suggests that you don't care enough to get it right. When you meet someone new, pay close attention during the first few seconds. Repeat their name back to them during the conversation to lock it into your memory. Remembering a name makes the other person feel valued and connected to you. Be a good listener. Allowing someone to talk makes them feel important. Most people do not actually listen during a conversation. They are simply waiting for the other person to finish so they can share their own thoughts. True listening requires a conscious effort to give someone your full attention. Encourage others to talk about themselves and their achievements and express genuine fascination with their stories. Talk in terms of the other person's interest. To keep someone engaged, steer the conversation toward topics they care about. Before an important meeting or interview, research the other party's interest and major goals. Frame your ideas around how you can help them solve their problems, and your own problems will be solved as a byproduct. Listen to that again. Frame your ideas around how you can help them solve their problems, and your own problems will be solved as a byproduct. I think it was Jim Rohn. I'm kind of getting away from the blog post here, but I think it was Jim Rohn that said, you can get everything you want by helping enough other people get what they want. I think that just lines up perfectly with what Dale Carnegie is writing here. Anyway, let's move on. Make the other person feel important. Almost everyone you meet feels superior to you in some way. Let them realize in a subtle and sincere manner that you recognize their importance. Give praise freely without expecting anything in return, simply to lift them up and radiate positivity. How to win people to your way of thinking. Avoid arguments. You cannot win an argument. If you lose it, you lose. If you win it and completely tear down the other person's logic, you wound their pride and make them resent you. 9 times out of 10, an argument just causes the other person to lock into their original position even harder. When a disagreement arises, control your temper, listen without resistance, and look for areas where you actually agree. I'll get away from the blog again one more time, but Dr. Jordan Peterson says that when men and women argue, when husbands and wives argue, and either one wins consistently, let's just say it's the husband wins consistently, does he really win? Because every time he's won, he has forced her to lose, and that builds the resentment between the two of them. I think that's another interesting segue from the blog post. Anyway, let's get back to it again. Begin in a friendly way. A hostile attitude only invites a hostile reaction. You cannot force people to agree with you, but you can lead them there gently. As the old saying goes, a drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of gall. Approach difficult conversations with kindness and appreciation rather than complaints. Show respect for others. Never tell someone they are wrong. Doing so is a direct attack on their self-esteem, and it essentially communicates that you think you are smarter than them. If you suspect someone is mistaken, It is much safer to say something like, I may be wrong, and I often am. Let us look at the facts. Admit your own mistakes quickly. If you are in the wrong, admit it quickly and enthusiastically. When you up front accept blame, it changes the entire dynamic of the situation. The other person no longer needs to attack you to feel important. Instead, they will often show generosity and forgive you. Let the other person do the talking. When someone disagrees with you, they will not pay attention to your point while they are bursting to express their own. Let them finish. Imagine their thoughts as a full bottle that needs to be emptied before they can receive any new ideas. Avoid the urge to interrupt. Seeing things from their perspective. Honestly try to see things from the other person's point of view. If you had the exact same life experiences and background as them, you would likely arrive at the same conclusions. Shift your perspective to understand their hidden motives and desires. Be sympathetic. People hunger for sympathy and recognition of their feelings. If someone is upset or angry, validate your emotions by saying, I do not blame you at all for feeling the way you feel. If I were in your shoes, I would undoubtedly feel the exact same way. Start with questions that get a yes. Do not begin a conversation by focusing on the areas where you differ. Start with what you agree on and keep the other person saying yes. When someone says no, their pride forces them to stay consistent with the negative stance, making progress much harder. Let the idea be theirs. People inherently prefer their own ideas over those handed to them by someone else. Instead of pushing your conclusions onto others, guide them toward the solution using patient, logical questions. When they feel like they came up with the idea, they will be far more invested in making it a success. Appeal to nobler motives. People usually have two reasons for doing something. One that sounds good and the real one. Appeal to their highest moral principles and their desire to be seen as people of high integrity and high character. Dramatize your ideas. Merely stating a dry truth is rarely enough to capture attention. You must make your ideas vivid, interesting, and dramatic. Use visual analogs. Bring physical objects to demonstrate a point, or frame your concepts in striking terms that clearly showcase the stakes involved. Throw down a challenge. When standard motivation fails, organize a healthy competition. The desire to excel and win is a major driver of human behavior. Subtly questioning someone's ability to handle a tough assignment can inspire them to rise to the occasion to prove their worth. How to change people without giving offense. Begin with praise. It is always much easier to listen to tough feedback after hearing sincere praise about our strong points. Avoid formal or generic compliments. Pinpoint specific things the person does well before addressing the areas that need correction. Talk about mistakes indirectly. Direct attacks create immediate resistance. You can call attention to mistakes indirectly by challenging or by changing how you structure your sentences. For example, avoid following praise with the word but, which cancels out the compliment. Instead, use the word to guide them toward a solution. Share your own mistakes first. Before criticizing someone else, talk about your own past failures and embarrassments. Admitting that you have made the same mistakes shows that you understand the task is difficult and that you are human too. This humbles the delivery and makes your advice much easier to accept. Ask questions instead of giving orders. No one likes taking direct orders. Instead of telling someone to do this or do that, ask questions like, do you think this approach would work? Or, what do you think of this? This protects your pride, encourages creativity, and makes them want to cooperate. Let the other person save face. Even if you are completely right and the other person is definitely wrong, destroying their ego only breeds resentment. Let them preserve their dignity. Acknowledge their effort. Minimize the severity of the mistake and express your continued faith in their abilities. Praise every improvement. People crave recognition like food. Praise even the slightest improvement and be incredibly specific about what they did right. This reinforces the positive behavior and inspires them to keep improving. Give them a fine reputation to live up to. If you want someone to improve in a certain area, act as though that trait is already one of their outstanding characteristics. When you publicly give someone a reputation for being reliable, honest, and hardworking, they will put in an enormous amount of effort to maintain that title. Make faults seem easy to correct. If you tell someone they lack talent or will never understand a concept, you destroy their motivation to try. Instead, tell them they have the right fundamentals and that the error can be easily fixed with a little bit of practice. Keep the steps of improvement simple and achievable. Make people happy to do what you suggest. To get people aligned with your request, always look at the benefits you both enjoy. Acknowledge what you want up front, but emphasize how the action aligns with their own personal goals and interests, making them enthusiastic about taking part. Hey, I hope you have enjoyed this, the insights that I have found from reading the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you do enjoy this kind of content and you'd like to see more of it and you're only on YouTube or you're only on any of these other platforms where I have shared this, please give it a thumbs up or a like or a heart or wherever it is. And if you don't mind, try subscribing. I think that would be kind of cool. Anyway, this is Big Daddy Biggs, and I hope you are a blessing today to someone else and a blessing to God. Thank you. Have a great day.